1914. One single gunshot would change the course of human history forever. Within just a few weeks, the world's greatest empires would be pulled into a war that no one could stop. More than 16 million people would lose their lives. But how did one assassination lead to the First World War? This is the story of World War I. At first glance, Europe looked peaceful. Bustling cities were growing, factories were expanding, and families believed the future was bright. But beneath that peaceful surface, powerful nations were secretly building enormous armies, manufacturing weapons, and preparing for a conflict they hoped would never come. Germany had become one of Europe's fastest-growing powers. Its economy was booming, its factories were producing weapons at record speed, and its leaders dreamed of becoming the strongest empire on the continent. They believed military strength was the key to securing Germany's future. Across the sea, Britain ruled the world's oceans. Its massive Royal Navy protected trade routes that connected every corner of the British Empire. As long as Britain controlled the seas, it remained one of the most powerful nations on Earth. France still carried the painful memory of losing territory to Germany decades earlier during the Franco-Prussian War. Many French leaders believed that one day they would have the chance to regain what had been lost. The rivalry between the two nations never truly disappeared. Meanwhile, Russia saw itself as the protector of the Slavic people living across Eastern Europe and the Balkans. It promised to defend smaller nations like Serbia if they were ever threatened. That promise would soon pull Russia into a devastating war. Europe slowly divided into two powerful military alliances. Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy formed one side. Britain, France, and Russia formed the other. These alliances were meant to prevent war. Instead, they guaranteed that if one country fought, many others would be dragged into the conflict. The continent had become like a line of dominoes standing side by side. If just one country fell, the rest would quickly follow. All Europe needed was a single spark to ignite the explosion. That spark came from a 19-year-old Bosnian Serb named Gavrilo Princip. A member of a nationalist group, he believed that violence was the only way to free his people from Austro-Hungarian rule. He was about to make a decision that would change the world forever. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, arrived in the city of Sarajevo with his wife Sophie. Crowds lined the streets to welcome them. Few could imagine that within minutes this peaceful visit would become one of the most important moments in modern history. As the royal motorcade moved through the streets of Sarajevo, several assassins waited along the route. Earlier that day, one attack had already failed. Most people believed the danger had passed, but fate had other plans. Then something completely unexpected happened. The Archduke's driver took a wrong turn and stopped the car just a few feet away from Gavrilo Princip. It was an unbelievable coincidence. Princip saw his chance, stepped forward, raised his pistol, and aimed directly at the royal couple. Two gunshots echoed through the streets. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were both fatally wounded. Panic spread across Sarajevo as people screamed and ran for safety. In less than a minute, history had changed forever. News of the assassination spread across Europe faster than anyone expected. Newspapers printed enormous headlines, governments called emergency meetings, and military leaders began preparing for the worst. Every major power knew this crisis could become something far bigger. Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for supporting the assassins. Backed by Germany, it delivered a harsh ultimatum filled with demands. Serbia accepted most of them, but not all. For Austria-Hungary, that was enough to justify war. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary officially declared war on Serbia. Artillery shells soon struck the Serbian capital, Belgrade. What had begun as a political crisis had now become a real war. Russia quickly ordered the mobilization of millions of soldiers to defend Serbia. Germany viewed this as a direct threat. Instead of waiting, Germany declared war on Russia and activated its long-prepared military strategy. France honored its alliance with Russia and entered the conflict. Germany then invaded neutral Belgium to reach France quickly. Britain had promised to protect Belgium's neutrality, so it also declared war on Germany. Within days, nearly all of Europe's great powers were fighting. The war that many believed would end by Christmas turned into years of brutal trench warfare. Soldiers lived in freezing mud, surrounded by barbed wire, artillery fire, poison gas, and machine guns. Millions would never return home. By the time World War I ended in 1918, more than 16 million people had lost their lives, and entire empires had collapsed. But the peace that followed left deep wounds and unresolved tensions. Those tensions would eventually lead to an even greater conflict, World War II. If you enjoyed this journey through history, subscribe for more Stickman history animations, because every war has a story, and every story changed the world.